If you're like me, you might be a little bit introverted, a little bit anxious in new and unknown situations, especially when you're meeting new people. But I just had a really awesome experience that got me out of my comfort zone in a way that was super fun. So let me tell you about an easy way to make some new friends by playing tabletop role-playing games. Now, big conventions like Gen Con can be an awesome place to connect with other people who are into the same kind of nerdy stuff that you are, but it can also be super overwhelming. It's so crowded, it's hard to get around, and it's easy to miss things. There are tons of people, but making spontaneous and meaningful connections can be tough. So this past weekend, I drove up to the Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, a much smaller, local-ish convention that was just as fun as Gen Con, but way more chill and way more personal. I came away from the weekend making some real new friends and feeling charged up to work on and play more games. Now, I went to PGX to run a game of Starborg, be on a panel about making TTRPG YouTube videos, and just hang out and see the show. Like I said in my last video, I was kind of nervous about running Starborg, my Star Wars inspired hack of Morkborg, for a bunch of strangers, but I ended up having a really lovely time. 5 players signed up and they were all super cool. We spent some time making characters, then jumped right into the evacuate the rebel base scenario. Everyone worked together really well. They combined missiles with grav bikes to make mobile bombs. They laid traps for stormtroopers and rescued friends and shot up Imperial droids. They ended up escaping just before the base got overrun. It was super epic and awesome. Like always, I wish I could have done a little bit better, like making sure everyone had a few good moments in the spotlight, but everyone worked together so well that I realized there was nothing to be nervous about. You know, these 5 friendly people wanted to hang out and play this weird little game, and it was super fun to introduce them all to a rules light Morkborg style experience. 2 of the players got to 0 HP and almost died, but it was okay in the end. We ended up talking a little bit after the game, and I kept seeing everyone around for the rest of the convention. I found out that Kevin, who played the droid Potts in the game, is actually a tattoo artist, and now we're chatting on Instagram. Of course, if I'm being real, I didn't become best pals with all 5 of them just by playing one game, but I did get to meet 5 awesome people, and I hope to see them again next year and play more games with them. And that's awesome. That's like what community feels like. You know, I also got to meet some other super cool tabletop role-playing game creators. I was on a panel with Bob Worldbuilder, Baron Drop, Deficient Master, Ted from Nerd Immersion, and Seth Skorkowski. We all hung out throughout the convention and talked YouTube shop. There was a great audience at the panel, and I got to chat with a few of the attendees. Just good vibes all around, you know? One of the things that I said on the panel was how important I think it is to engage in other people's communities, like join some discords and talk with people that have similar interests. You know, like when they're making or playing cool stuff, and you can join in and add your energy, your encouragement. It's easy to have that energy reciprocated back at you. And at PGX, I think that spirit really seemed to come alive in person at this convention. Now, I really love hanging out with Bob Worldbuilder and Grace World Destroyer. I'm such a fan and really appreciative of his positive perspective in the TTRPG world. I watch and comment on Bob's videos, and I'm a patron, and I lurk around his Discord a little, so it's easy for me to ask questions and be excited about the things that he's working on. And the cool thing about being at a smaller show like this is it's easy to just grab a couple of meals with people or sit down and play a game and really get to know them better. You know, it's not just a passing hello, but actually getting to hang out with friends and talk games and life, and ended up talking a lot about YouTube and old video games. I actually spent most of my time at the convention hanging out with Brian Colin, the creator of Vastgrim, and Brian Shutter, the creator of Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland, and his pal Zach. Other dudes that are making TTRPG stuff in a way that I really appreciate. The four of us connected about the DIY spirit and how fun it is to make these games yourself. And of course, we talked a lot about the nostalgic stuff, our Mount Rushmore of TMNT and all that stuff. There's just something really recharging about hearing what other people like and what they're into and what inspires them, and you know, just having conversations and hearing that stuff gets me inspired. Brian and I ended up nerding out about old Capcom games, and actually this is a great example. The convention wasn't all about TTRPGs. I was just walking through the arcade at one point and totally randomly met this dude Brandon, who just so happened to be at PGX for this big Street Fighter 6 tournament. I ran into a total stranger and we were talking about maps and Street Fighter, and then all of a sudden he got up on stage and got third place in this crazy tournament that was going on for months. It was like a $5,000 prize, and he was using E-Honda too. So it's like so rad. Just watching this stranger, this person that I just connected with on an off chance, like play in a Street Fighter tournament. It was so cool. And speaking of Street Fighter, check out this awesome arcade marquee that I got while I was shopping around the show. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but X-Men vs. Street Fighter, for me, was my jam when I got dropped off at the mall in 8th grade. This is the one I played the most. You know, I might not be able to have the full-on arcade cabinet in my basement or something, but I got the marquee at least. And you know, just walking around the convention floor is inspiring. Seeing all the booths and people making awesome handmade stuff and selling their crazy game collections. There was even live music going on the whole time. Like, it felt like a real celebration of nerdiness, and everyone there was in on it.
Extra, extra, read all about how Shredder and Crane read things without a doubt. Now here's a little story I like to tell about four youngsters coming out of the shell.
Okay, so it may seem like I'm saying just go to a game convention and you'll make a bunch of friends, and I know it's not really that simple. I guess I'm more talking about being open and engaging with people where they're at. I know it's hard with our busy lives, and really I need to be better about just signing up to play a game at my local convention or my local game store. Like, oh yeah, so while I was in Pittsburgh, I went to this rad store called Games Unlimited. They have a great TikTok channel. They have an awesome selection of TTRPG books and zines. I ended up spending like $200 buying a bunch of cool stuff. And they had signs everywhere about this big Cairn event that they were hosting. Like, I guess a bunch of games were going to be run for whoever wants to come in and play. Super, super cool. I talked with the manager, Dan, about book distribution, and he was super helpful. And it makes me want to spend more time at my own local game stores. So on the 4.5-hour drive home, I was just reflecting a lot on how important community is within the hobby, especially in TTRPGs. You know, with our busy lives, it's easy to forget that playing games with other people is just so awesome. I don't know, usually big crowded conventions with lots of people can kind of zap my energy, but I just feel like going and meeting friends and hanging out and stuff actually like charged me up and got me more excited about TTRPGs and making stuff and playing games. If anything, I hope this video is an encouraging reminder to get you psyched to check out your local convention or head over to your game shop or even join a new Discord and run or play in a game or two. Tell someone that you enjoy playing or running their game, or better yet, tell them a story from a time that you played their game. That'll totally make their day. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to my Discord and also monthly tabletop role-playing game zines, consider checking out my Patreon. Link is in the description. I also have an online shop. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!